So let's talk a bit now about instituting these novel agents into the healthcare system in terms of a lattice, a whole workflow, if you will, a protocol. How do you build a protocol into the hospital workflow to accommodate these new drugs? And how do you affect prescriber choice, if that's part of your protocol?
Yeah, so good question. We recently had a P&T anti-coag cardiology subcommittee meeting where we actually deleted edoxaban from our formulary. We looked across the health system, and it was the least prescribed. Less than 1% of all NOAC prescriptions were for that drug. And the outpatient coverage just really wasn't good for our market. So we made the decision to delete it, removed it from our order sets. And honestly, I can't give enough credit to our IT team that created those order sets. It's basically dummy-proofing prescribing, which makes it very, very hard to prescribe an inappropriate dose for patients.
But you don't hear the other side of this, where the practitioner sits down in front of his or her computer, I want to make this gender neutral, the practitioner's computer, and says, where's the order? I used to be able to order this. Those gosh darn IT people are running my practice. And I'll bet pharmacy's behind this.
Oh, you bet we are.
You sound very proud of this. What's the point? Why can't a practitioner prescribe what that practitioner thinks is best for that practitioner's patient?
Well, unfortunately, we know from the real-world evidences when we're not prescribing medications at their appropriate dose, Pixpan, for instance, we may lower their bleed risk if we give somebody who qualifies for 5 BID, the 2.5 BID dose. But on the other end of that, we do increase the risk of ischemic stroke. And it may start in the hospital where that problem begins because somebody prescribed a lower dose than was appropriate and nobody caught it.
But you're not talking about controlling doses. You're not controlling about you're not talking about putting up a lattice work and click boxes that could only give you the right dose. You took it off completely. Hey, I can hear the phone call now. You took my drug away.
You can always page non-formulary if you'd like to use something not on our formulary.
Well, there's a really easy bureaucracy to manage. Does that disturb you at all?
It does if it's done in a unilateral way. So this is where the team approach is so key to any protocol, be for this or anything else that you do in the hospital. So you have to have collaboration. You have to sit down, the pharmacist, the cardiologist, if it's in the hospital, with the hospitalist, the administrator, and then come up with wise decisions that ultimately should benefit the patient. That the decision should never be driven by cost, period. Should be driven by the real needs of the patients. And then once everybody agree to it, then you have the benefit of having EHR. When you have an electronic health system that allows you to set up a protocol in place that standardizes the way that people do things, then there's no need to worry about outliers. We're no longer back at 30 years ago when the doctor will say, even you do this, or I take my patients away. No, we're here for the patient. We all should be doing what is the best for the patient.
Yeah, they all get blessed by the P&T committee, all the order sets.
Yeah, there's still a process. Yes, you have to vet it through the cardiology committee, through the internal medicine, through the P&T, through the clinical leadership and so on. But yes, that should be a process that ultimately ends up with a product that should be widely accepted by everybody.
And every revision too.
Oh. Every revision. wait, what I'm hearing in your voice is, I've sat on this committee.
Well, yeah, sure. They ask for everyone to participate and come up with, the ultimate product is something that helps you do the right thing.
I've sat on these committees, and after a while it's like this. Oh my God, but there is an endpoint. There's something that you want to get, which is patient safety and efficacy. What this reminds me of is, a generation ago in the airline business, captains were the captains, and they're going to do whatever they want. The airline said, no, stop, you're hitting mountains doing that. How about we standardize how we fly airplanes, and look what's happened. It's safer. Is the analogy apt here?
Absolutely. So basically the whole point of protocolizing anything was to have a standardized approach that's consistent with FDA-approved labeling anytime you're going to prescribe medication. And with high-risk medications like anticoagulants, that safety cannot be understated.
And what do you do with the odd man or odd woman out who says, no, I won't do it this way. My patients get this drug. I've always done it this way. And this is my judgment. I'm a physician. It's my license, my practice. And you say to that person,
oh, page non-formulary, please.
Now, I'll tell you what, one of the transformation of healthcare management, because I've been part of the leadership for many years, And it's an easy conversation, actually. People think, oh my God, is that we're gonna have to deal with this guy, and then they call the pharmacist says, I'm sorry. But the reality is, that's where you create a protocol starting with everybody on the table. And then now that the institutions are integrated with a huge number of practitioners, and the management is collaborative, where you have administrator, you have technical staff, you have the prescriber, the physician, clinical side. Then you can go to the doctor and say, this is what all agreed to do, this is what we're doing, and these are the reasons why we're doing it. And I can guarantee you, once you have that peer-to-peer conversation, that 95% of the time the problem goes away.
Yes, so I agree with that the practice of medicine has changed. It's more collaborative, becoming more collaborative, because the physicians are realizing that they can't just remain the captain and take all the responsibility.
So it's
right?
very millennial at this point.
Yes, but
And that's a good thing.
Yes, but I will tell you that it's easier when you have the data and the outcomes to show that, because nobody argues with that. And physicians love it if you can show justification and evidence.
You know, I love that you said that, because I think that answers a lot of questions, to my mind anyway. It's not we're doing this arbitrarily. Here's the data, doctor.
Yeah.
Argue with this data if you dare. Some will.
And sometimes it's their own data. Organizations like ours, which is very well, very mature in this area, where we capture a lot of the information, it's gotten a lot easier when you put their own data in front of them. They will never argue with you.